What you do every single day, the service that you put in every single day is changing more lives than you know. That's probably the most frustrating thing about being an educator is you sacrifice and you give so much to these kids, but many of them, when they leave your school or they leave and go to the next grade, you don't get to see them 5 years later. You don't get to see them when they graduate from high school or when they get accepted to college or when they get married or when they have their first child. I wish so bad that I could find those teachers, those few teachers who saw something special inside me when everyone else wrote me off. Man, if I could just find those few teachers and say, thank you, look at me now. I own a home, I've got a few businesses, a nonprofit, I've written a bunch of books, I got a bunch of degrees because of you. But they're not here, and I can't find them, but I can tell you because of the sacrifice that you make every single day coming to this school, because of teachers and educators and administrators like you that speak life. Because of people like you, our country has a fighting chance. This new generation has a fighting chance. These kids are going to go to a whole nother level, but that can only take place when we live a life of service, when we live lives of making solutions, when we live lives of sacrifice. You know, one of the number one messages I share when I go to schools, and I'll be honest with you, nowadays when the school calls me and they're like, man, we want you to come and speak to our kids. I don't mind speaking to the kids, but more than anything, I want to speak to the teachers and staff. Because if I can put this thing inside you, you now can give it to the kids and continue to reinforce it. So when I sit down now with the teachers, I do what I do with them, and when I get with the kids, you know what the number one thing I tell them is? Is that your teachers are human, just like you. Think about it. You can get diagnosed with something. You get that phone call. You're dealing with financial strains. I know because you overworked and you underpaid. You got marital issues within your home. You suffer from depression, but you come to school every single day and you say, I'm gonna leave this in my car because I've got to give my best to these kids. That's what next level teaching is. That's that next level education right there. And you can only do that if you every single day you say, you know what, I'm gonna sacrifice me for these kids.
I'm obsessed with the question, what makes a good teacher great? I've collected 26,000 responses to this question in 8 different schools, from the poorest schools in Los Angeles, to suburban schools in Texas, to elite private schools abroad. And after 24 years of teaching students, I'm still perplexed by this question. Today I'm going to teach the lessons I learned from those thousands of students and learn what I found out from them if we just listen to students. The thing about it is that during my time of asking kids this question, I realized that we don't ask this question for a particular reason. Schools are afraid. Based on fear, they don't really want to know what kids think, partially because they don't think kids will take it serious. I'm going to share with you one of the most profound quotes, answers to this question that I ever received. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't this prove my point? Great teachers eat apples. When I first saw this, I dismissed it as silliness. But it appeared again and again. So I thought there's got to be something to this. But what are they trying to tell me? So one day I decided I would start eating apples. I ate them in the morning, at lunch, during class, in the hall. Kids began to give me apples. They'd see me eating them and say, "You're eating an apple." I know. They would smile, and I would smile back.